pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And I'd like to have a moment of silence for all our servicemen serving here and abroad. Thank you. Have a roll call, please. Here.
Joseph Sullivan.
Here. All right. Public meetings. Act statement from our attorney, Deborah Rupp.
This meeting is being called pursuant to the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act. Notice of this meeting has been provided through publication in the official newspapers of the Township of Jackson, as well as having been posted on the bulletin board in the municipal complex. Adequate notice of this meeting has been offered. The board secretary is directed to include a record of this notice in the minutes of the meeting.
Thank you. I'd just like to make this statement at the beginning of the meeting. This meeting is a judicial proceeding. Any questions or comments must be limited to issues that are relevant to what the board may legally consider in reaching a decision, and decorum appropriate to a judicial proceeding must be maintained at all times. This meeting shall end at 10 p.m. unless a majority of the board agrees to continue. The minutes for the June 26, 2025 meeting are not ready at this time. They will be ready for our January meeting. Do I have a motion to approve the bills for our professionals? Can I have a roll call, please?
Bill Boyce. Edward Chakowski. Frank Sullivan.
Yes.
Deborah Wankel. Joseph Sullivan.
Yes. All right, Mr. Mamoli, do we have any correspondence?
Some key control letters for Southwind Village and Jackson Acres.
Next will be the resolutions. Resolution 2025-22, 230 First Street LLC doing business at Shady Lake Park, CPI increase.
I read it.
Okay, yeah.
This meeting, a public hearing was held on June 26, 2025, in the municipal building of the Township of Ocean, at which time the applicant provided evidence as to the accuracy and appropriateness of a CPI increase as referenced in the application. The Board of Counsel, Carmen Memoli of the firm of Memoli and Company, reviewed the application and finds same to be accurate. The board has determined that the application for rental increase should not be effective until after the board had had the opportunity to review and vote on the application. The board, having considered said application, testimony, and exhibits, find that the CPI increase is appropriate. The application of CPI increase of 2.9% is hereby approved effective June 1 of 2025 in accordance with the start date of each tenant's lease. The total rent for each unit commencing on June 1st, 2025 shall be as set forth on Schedule A as prepared by the board accountant, Carmen Memoli, and attached here to made a part hereof.
All right, thank you. Do we have a motion to approve resolution 2025-22? A second. Roll call, please.
Bill Boyce. Edward Chakowski. Frank Sullivan.
Yes.
Deborah Wankel. Joseph Sullivan.
Yes. Next will be 2025-23.
Shady Lake Park, application for rent increase for real estate taxes. Public hearing was held on this application on June 26, 2025, in the municipal building of the Township of Jackson, at which time the applicant provided evidence as to the accuracy and appropriateness of the rent increase as referenced in the application. The board accountant, Carmen Memoli of the firm of Memoli and Company, reviewed the application and finds same to be accurate. The board having considered the application.
Can't understand a thing you're saying back here. That doesn't sound like anybody's opinions going forth. It's only your opinion.
What we're doing right now is reading the resolutions that were done in June.
I wouldn't come here if I didn't have a problem with it.
I'm not gonna do this. This is not a council meeting where you can come and argue with the council.
You will have a
This-
time in the public to address us,
This is a
okay?
judicial proceeding.
This is not.
And these are resolutions from a previous meeting. That is why there's no discussion on them, because this is things that were approved in a previous meeting.
What I will tell you, members of the public, you will have an opportunity to address the board at the public session. Let us please get on with our business. So as I was reading this resolution number 2025-23, concerning Shady Lake and their request for a rent increase for real estate taxes. The board accountant finds the same to be accurate. The board considered the application, testimony, exhibits submitted, if any, and made the following findings. The monthly rent per unit increase is $1.83 per lot. The number of sites was accurately stated as 36. The total license fee of $200 was paid, and the appropriate license fee allocation for each site is set forth in the application at 46 cents per month for each site. The correct old base rent for sites 1 through 36 was included in the application. The analysis provided with the application was footed and cross-footed for accuracy. The board determined that the application for the rental increase should not be effective until after the board has had the opportunity to review and vote on the application. Board finds and grants the application of the applicant for an increase in rent based on the increase of real estate taxes is approved. The monthly per unit increase is $1.86 per lot. The old base rent for sites 1 through 36 was correctly stated in the application. The total rent for each site commencing June 1, 2025 shall be as set forth on the Schedule A attached here to.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve resolution 2025-3? I have a second. I have a roll call, please.
Bill Boyce. Edward Chukowski. Frank Sullivan.
Yes.
Deborah Wanko.
Yes. Next will be 2025-24.
This is the Shady Lake Park application for a capital improvement increase. On June 26, 2025, the applicant was presented his application, and all interested parties given the opportunity to be heard, including tenants of the subject apartment complex, as well as counsel or witness for the applicant. Testimony provided by the applicant can be summarized as follows. There was a need for a new parking lot, concrete upgrades to the basketball court, new septic tanks, and new curbs. The total cost for the road improvements of $107,500 was paid by the applicant, resulting in a request for a capital improvement increase based upon the gross sum of $107,500, which amortized over a useful life of 15 years, resulting in a monthly increase to each of the 36 lots of $15.69, effective June 1st, 2025.
Thank you. Do we have a motion for approval for 2025-24? Do I have a second? Roll call, please.
Bill Boyce. Edward Chukowski. Frank Sullivan.
Yes.
Deborah Wanko. Joseph Sullivan.
Yes. Next will be 2025-25 rental decrease applications, MGM Maple Glen.
The local control board of the Township of Jackson, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey finds that Jim Dombrowski, Mary Ellen Koderick, Dennis Casal, Linda Raduces, Sydney Superfine, Sarah Riggleman, Mary Ellen McCann, Brian Bastian, Donald Gurley, Vincent Metro, Mr. and Mrs. Gary Halligan, Helen McLaughlin, Doris Roberts, Madeline Riggleman, Amy Orr, Roland Torick, Ella Westlake, and Ronald and Carly Peckerchick filed an application seeking a rental decrease based upon actions occurring in 2025. And whereas the board having heard the testimony from the applicants, and whereas the board has evaluated the testimony and documents submitted by the respondent, Maple Glen Mobile Home Park, and whereas said board having considered said applications, testimony, and exhibits submitted, make the following. The applicant has not proved their need for a rent decrease, and the applications are denied.
Do I have a motion to approve resolution 2025-25? I have a second. Roll call, please.
Bill Boyce. Kowski. Frank Sullivan,
Yes.
Deborah Wankel. Joseph Sullivan.
Yes. Next will be our applications. We will first be hearing from GM Prospect Point for a CPI increase.
Good evening, Ms. Greenberg. How are you?
Good evening and almost happy holidays.
Thank you.
Thank you. Lori Greenberg, Esquire, appearing on behalf of GM Prospect Point.
Is this
Nini.
your witness?
Nini Garcia?
Solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth?
Yes.
Again?
Nini
name
Garcia.
again?
Nini Garcia.
Nina?
Nini, N-I Garcia.
Thank you.
Ms. Garcia, do you attest or affirm that the information in this application is accurate to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Does anyone have any questions? Mr. Momola, excuse me.
Presented to us was a proposed CPI rent increase application for GM Prospect Point. The applicant is entitled to a maximum CPI increase of 2.9% plus an additional 1.5% for heat, which they provide. Thus, the total CPI increase would be 4.4%. The increase is effective for annual leases ending on October 31st, 2025, November 30th, 2025, December 31st, 2025, January 31st, 2026, February 28th, 2026, and March 31st, 2026, respectively. Reviewing the application, we found a complete application without any issues or discrepancies.
Thank you, Mr. Momoli. Board members, having reviewed the application, do any of you have any questions for this applicant? I will now open it to the public for this application. Oh, yes, can I have a motion to open it to the public? Do I have a second? All in favor? Aye. This is for this application only, GM Prospect Point CPI increase. Anybody wishing to come forward that has a comment or question about the GM Prospect Point CPI increase, please do so now. Also, anyone on Zoom, who is watching right now that has a question about the GM Prospect Point application and only the GM Prospect Point application, please raise your hand. Being none and hearing none, do I have a motion to close the public portion of this application? Do I have a second? I will not tolerate outbursts, period. All those in favor? Aye. We have a motion to approve or disapprove the GM Prospect Point CPI increase. Do I have a second? Roll call, please.
Bill Boyce. Kukowski. Frank Sullivan.
Yes.
Deborah Wankel. Joseph Sullivan.
Yes. You have your approval? Yeah. Next will be UMH Southwind for a CPI increase.
Lori Greenberg Esquire appearing on behalf of UMH Southwind. And I have with me Kevin.
Is the mic turned on?
This one is. Hello, can you hear me?
The other one, the green?
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Lori Greenberg Esquire appearing on behalf of UMH Southwind, and I have with me Kevin Miller.
You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth?
Yeah.
Yes.
Sure. Presented to the board was a CPI rent increase application for UMI Southwind Village. Applicant is entitled to a maximum CPI increase of 2.95% effective December 1st, 2025, in accordance with the start date of each tenant's lease. Reviewing the application, we found a complete application without any issues or discrepancies.
Mr. Malloy, it's UMH, right?
UMH South.
I thought you
Oh,
said UMI.
What did I say? Oh, I'm sorry.
So it's UMH. Is that
UMH.
correct? Thank you.
Do you affirm that this application is accurate to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Does anyone from the board, having reviewed the application, have any questions for this applicant? Hearing none, I will now open it to the public, or ask for a motion to open it to the public on this application only. Do I have a motion? All in favor? Aye. Anyone wishing to come forward on Southwind CPI increase, please come to the microphone. If not, Southwind CPI increase, and you can't come to the microphone and you're on Zoom, please let us know on the Zoom application if you wish to come forward. Hearing and seeing none, I ask for a motion to close the public portion on CPI increase UMH Southwind. Do I have a second? All in favor? Aye. Having reviewed the application, do we have any motion here for approval or disapproval? Wankel and Sokowski, can I have a roll call, please?
Bill Boyce. Edward Chukowski. Frank Sullivan.
Yes.
Deborah Wankel. Joseph Sullivan.
Yes. Next will be the UMH Southwind real estate tax pass-through.
Once again, Lori Greenberg Esquire appearing on behalf of UMH, and I have with me Kevin Miller.
I just wanted to remind you, sir, that you're still under oath.
Yes.
Okay. Presented to the board was a proposed real estate tax surcharge increase application for UMH Southwind Village. The real estate taxes for the entire complex increased a total of $10,740 from 2024 to 2025. There are a total of 250 units in the complex. Therefore, the monthly per rent increase is $3.58 per unit. And that is calculated by taking the 10,740, dividing it by the 250 units, and dividing it by 12 months. This increase will be effective for December 1st, 2025. In reviewing the application, we found a complete application without any issues or discrepancies.
Right. You affirm that everything in that application is accurate to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, I do.
Okay, thank you. Does anyone from the board have any questions for this applicant in regards to the real estate tax pass-through for Southwind? Seeing none, we will open it to the public. Do I have a motion to open it to the public for the UMH Southwind real estate tax pass-through only? Do I have a second?
Second, Boyce.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone on Zoom that wishes to discuss the Southwind real estate tax pass-through, please make yourself known. If not, I would like to have a motion to close the UMH Southwind real estate tax pass-through.
Second, Boyce.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone have any discussion they wished for this real estate tax pass-through? You have a motion. Motion to approve. Motion to approve Sullivan. Do I? Roll call, please.
Bill Boyce. Edward Chakowski. Frank Sullivan.
Yes.
Deborah Wankel. Joseph Sullivan.
Yes. Next will be UMH Oak Tree CPI increase.
Okay, Lori Greenberg Esquire appearing on behalf of UMH Oak Tree, and I have with me Kevin Miller, who is still under oath.
Mr. Mamoli.
Presented to the board was a proposed CPI rent increase application for UMH Oak Tree. The applicant is entitled to a maximum CPI increase of 2.95% effective November 1st, 2025, in accordance with the start date of each tenant's lease. In reviewing this application, we found a complete application without any issues or discrepancies.
Thank you. Ms. Wankel, I know that you're a resident of Oak Tree and you're going to step down for these two applications. But please stay in the room and come back up when they're
The lease
completed.
started after.
Please make a note of that. That Michael step down for these next.
No, let's say someone moved in.
You affirm that everything is accurate to the best of your knowledge in the CPI application.
Yes, I do.
Does anyone from the board have any questions about the CPI application? I will now open it to the public for the CPI application only. I will need a motion for that. Do I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. This is for the CPI increase portion only. If anyone has any questions or comments about CPI?
The lady in the lavender shirt, come forward.
If this is about the CPI.
I'm sorry, your name again, ma'am?
No, I said courtesy in the courtroom.
And do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth?
I do.
And one more name, you have a very soft voice. What is your name?
Joanne Walker?
Thank you. Walker?
Yes.
Thank you.
So I have a question. Something was said in the previous meeting about March being an increase on the CPI. If we're starting to pay a CPI increase in November, do we then have to pay something else in March of 26?
No, this would last for 12 months. So it would go from November to November.
Okay, and that's the normal CPI for pretty much everybody, right?
Yes,
Okay.
right now it's based on consumer price index. As of next year, under the state law, it'll be based under a cap of 3.5% statewide. However, municipalities can improve on that if they wish to and approve their own municipal increased percentage, but they can't use CPI anymore as of next year under the state law.
And you had said something about depending on the start date, I guess that would be the date that you come in to a complex.
Yes.
So November,
If you started with your lease, say in January, January would be your start date. If you started in March, March would be your start date. You
So-
don't pay more than the 12 months.
okay, so anybody between January and November starts November.
Well, they can, it depends on how they want to do it. Some of the manufactured home parks go by the anniversary month. Others will say you moved in July. They will not raise your rent the first January, but they'll raise your rent the next January, or whatever month they decide that it's the month that they want to use. Other parks use the anniversary month, so they have different months for each resident. It all depends on how they want to do it, but they have to give you at least 12 months on that first lease.
Okay, so there's a safety of your first 12 months.
You have,
before
yeah, they
anything.
can't raise your rent twice in 12 months.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much.
Welcome. I saw the gentleman in the back with the hat.
Yeah, hey, I was just wondering.
You have to come up to the microphone so we can hear you, sir.
I understand the CPI.
Before you begin, do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth?
Yes,
And your name, sir?
Franklin D. Zotak Jr., retired Navy.
Thank you for your service. Can you
Yeah,
give me
sure,
your
yeah.
name one more time?
What?
Your name one more time?
Franklin D. Zotak Jr., D as in Delta,
And your
First
last name
name.
was what?
Zotak with an S. S is silent. Okay. CPS, I understand, or CPI, pardon me. Now, when we had the previous owners, our roads and our complex here were fine. Our park is split into two sections, you know, I guess east and west or north and south, whatever. Now, isn't that called an elective aesthetic? Why should the community here pay for the aesthetics that we have no profit in the future or present?
Yeah,
Definitions right here. I don't understand why it went up so much. I just don't understand.
Your
that.
CPI?
No. Our
We-
rent,
We can't
rent.
discuss the real estate tax, yes, that's the next application.
pardon me?
The next application deals with real estate tax, not this application.
Talking about,
Okay.
This is just CPI.
Okay, I was
Talking
wrong.
about,
Oh,
are you
no
talking?
problem, but
are
you're
you talk-
all right with the CPI, right? Correct?
Yeah, the
Okay.
$56 and
He's talking about
change.
Capital improvement. I believe.
I'm just
No,
wondering
you
why
know,
I
real
got
estate
two
tax.
different prices here. That's what I'm wondering. So, I mean, I could be wrong. I don't know all about politics. I kind of stay away from that. So,
So the next application will be the real estate taxes. That's the one you're talking about where it went up,
correct,
yeah, to 100 and, yeah, okay. well,
correct.
That's the next application. So
Okay, when's that gonna be?
Right after
after
this
this
one.
I'm sorry, what?
right after this one,
Tonight?
yes,
Yes,
in this room.
I'm sorry.
you're
right,
all
you're
good.
fine.
Don't worry.
I'm only human. I make my mistakes.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Does anybody else have any other questions about CPI? Hearing none, I ask for a motion to close the public portion on the CPI UMH Oak Tree.
Second voice.
All in favor? Aye. Do we have any discussion or does anybody want to make a motion on the UMH Oak Tree CPI increase? Motion to approve. Sullivan,
Voice second.
Boyce, second. Roll call, please.
Will Boyce, Edward Chakowski, Frank,
Yes.
Edward Wenko.
She abstains. Yes. Next will be UMH Oak Tree for a real estate tax pass-through.
Lori Greenberg Esquire, appearing on behalf of UMH Oak Tree on the real estate tax. And I have with me Kevin Miller, who's still under oath. I do have, and I reserve an argument about the real estate taxes. I did send a copy of it to Carmen and to Ms. Rumpf about our argument about why we are entitled to the real estate. If you'd like me, I can put it on the record, or we can just wait. What would you like me to do?
Yes, you can put it on the record.
Okay, you want me to put it on the record? All right. The
Mrs.
town,
Greenberg, you
What?
gotta pick a mic that
Is
works.
that a green light?
all right. Is this better?
Perfect.
All right. The township reassessed and increased the real estate taxes for the mobile home park solely based on what the property was sold for, while leaving the other mobile home parks assessments unchanged. As you know, and I've represented every park in this town, their increases were minor, even though their parks were similar. This park's increase was high. My client does plan to challenge it, but right now, it is what it is. And they have the right under the statute 334-13 to pass that increase through. The rent control ordinance expressly permits a tax surcharge for real estate tax increases. I don't know why this park is the only one that had such a huge increase. It shouldn't have. If there was a reassessment from the whole town, everybody should be paying based on the value of their property. What the town did was they took the sales price, but then all of the parks should have been reassessed to their value. They weren't. I don't know what happened here, but the ordinance doesn't give the rent board a lot of room. Under an application, landlord may obtain a tax surcharge based upon an increase in municipal property taxes. There's no exceptions or qualifications for when the property was sold, for a tax increase following a sale. None of that is included in 334-13. And I sent a letter to the board about this. The board has no discretion. The town cannot impose new conditions not found in the ordinance. The town's argument that the landlord should have planned for this is irrelevant. 334-13 doesn't require such planning. So under the ordinance, the only thing you can do is look at the difference between the tax bills. What was it last year? What is it this year? There's no exception for the fact that the landlord purchased the property, nor should the real estate taxes have been increased that much. None of the other parks were. It's like spot zoning. We've got spot tax increase. It's a problem caused by the township. The township's listening. This is their problem, but unfortunately it's our problem too. My client is trying to resolve this problem with the township, and they've been having conversations with the township. Right now, the increase is arbitrary and selective reassessment. So without going into everything else, unfortunately, under the ordinance, we're entitled to a real estate tax pass-through, but my client wants to help mitigate what this is to the residents. And I'm going to let him talk about what he wants to do to mitigate this. Even though they don't have an obligation, they still would like to mitigate it. Do you want to say something?
Sure. Thanks, Lori. So, you're going to hear soon what our real estate tax increase is. I'm sure you all know it. I think it's like around almost $70 or something like that. So, that's a huge increase for everybody. We understand that. We feel for everyone. And as Lori said, these are additional costs that we're going to have to bear. And in general, we have several parks throughout the country that are not rent controlled, and we limit those increases to 5%. We're proud to say that so that we could, keep our parks affordable. We like to provide, a great place to live at affordable prices, and that's our mantra. That's what we always claim. And every year with rent control, it's always less than that, but this is an unusual situation where it became more than that. So we don't want to lose our right to try to recover our costs. So we do want this to pass today, but we're going to voluntarily on everyone's rent bill, reduce everyone's rent each month so that the increase is no more than 5%, which is basically what we do for all our communities. And that's really it. So I'm hoping that makes everybody happy. I know I spoke to Joe about it. I spoke to the mayor about it. They seem to think that that should work. And I hope everybody here, feels the same way.
So what you're saying is our rent's gonna go down 5%, correct?
No, I'm saying that your increase is not going to be more than a net 5%. So we're going to have, so when you see your bill, you're going to see a gross, rent charge that we're entitled to. And then we're going to have a negative credit on each month showing a reduction in your rent, a voluntary reduction on our part that we could reduce your rent. So that way your total increase is not more than 5% from what you paid last year.
And that includes the CPI in that 5%?
Yeah, we're going to take the total. So their total rent is not going to be more than 5% of what they were paying currently.
And then what happens in the future with that increase?
Well, let's see what happens,
Well,
if we can get these real estate taxes reduced.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
things like,
there is a possibility, UMH can go in before the county for a rent, or excuse me, for a property tax lowering reevaluation. And from what I understand, this has happened before with Oak Tree in the past, and it was successful under the previous owner. So I would suggest that you would go to the court in Ocean County and ask them to lower the evaluation. That's one. Two, this will be the only reevaluation for the next 10 years. And I like to correct a couple things. First off, it was not the township that decided that all of a sudden we're going to reevaluate the whole town. That was the state, because it's a state law that you have to reevaluate at least every 10 years. And also, it's not the township that does the reevaluation work. It is an independent contractor who did the reevaluation and decided the evaluation for Oak Tree, whether right or wrong. But I appreciate UMH's willingness to work with the residents, because without this, your rent would be going up anywhere from 10 to 15%. And now they're capping it at 5%, which is very generous on their part. And I hope that we can all agree to thank them for that.
If I may, so
I need to make it clear though, Ms. Rom. We're asking that your board to pass the full increase,
Understandable.
but we're capping it this year and trying to give them a credit. And hopefully, while this is going on, we're going to get a reduction.
well, what I would like to do, I would like to, if the board is inclined to grant the application, and you're eloquently very correct that we don't have any other choice, but I would like to include in the resolution that by agreement, that the landlord is going to cap it at 5% until the matter is fully resolved.
so you like something, you want something in writing, as you're saying?
They're going to put on their resolution
Oh,
that this year, you're going to cap it at 5%. They're not going to have to pay more than 5% of an increase.
Yeah, so you can make that part of
By
the record,
agreement.
yeah.
Okay,
But just make sure it's voluntary, that.
Yes,
okay.
voluntary.
We call it a voluntary stipulation.
Okay,
For this year until we
this year.
figure out what's going on. And just so that the tenant residents know, if the taxes go down, then they don't get a reduction from the total amount. I mean,
Yeah.
if we capped it at 5%, then they don't get a reduction from that 5%.
Yes, correct. So basically, they're capping your rent at 5%, but they'll be showing, I assume you'll be showing on their bill what the taxes were going to be.
yes, yeah, so we're gonna have the gross amount that they're gonna approve, and then we're gonna say less a voluntary credit that'll reduce to make your net rent not more than 5%.
Does that go for rent before the increase?
Yeah, so I think the increase was effective,
2 months ago.
yeah, 2 months ago. What are we in October? It was effective, November 1st it was effective, right?
It says November 1st.
Yeah, so November 1st. So I was gonna make it effective January 1st, because, it already passed, but, I'm sure we can go back and try to give you credits for the last 2 months.
They want to know what happens
next year. We don't know what's gonna happen.
I don't know. I mean, if they raise our real estate taxes another 130% again,
I'm
I don't know if
just
I can
gonna-
keep doing this.
That
I'm just
couldn't
gonna
happen.
ask for the public to wait for their opportunity to ask questions.
Okay.
And just to make it clear, the township is not going to reevaluate properties for at least another decade. And that is because of state law. And therefore, you're not going to see some huge, incredible increase in real estate taxes in the next year unless something catastrophic happened to the whole town, and that would be everybody. So I don't see that happening. This is a one-time unfortunate situation caused by a reevaluation and a property sale that happened in a similar time frame, which for whatever reason, the independent contractor used that as the amount to value the property.
Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, that's it. Thank you.
I'd also like to mention that the mayor has reached out to me to let everybody know that she will be meeting with Andy, the CEO of UMH, and they will be discussing all of these issues as well. And we want to thank UMH for coming to the table with a solution to this problem. With that, I will go to Carmen because he has to make this official.
Presented to the board was a proposed real estate tax surcharge increase for UMH Oak Tree. The real estate taxes for the entire complex increased a total of $185,684.18 from 2024 to 2025. There are a total of 258 units in the complex. Therefore, the monthly per unit increase is $59.98. That is calculated by taking the 185,684.18, dividing it by the 258 units, then dividing it by 12 months. This increase will be effective for November 1st, 2025, or I believe you said January?
No, you're correct.
Okay. In reviewing the application, we found a complete application without any issues or discrepancies.
All right, thank you. Does anybody, and of course you affirmed that this is an accurate information.
Yes, I affirm.
Okay. Does anyone from the board have any questions for the applicant?
Neither was I. I recommended against it.
Yeah, Lori's very angry.
Lori and I disagree on many things, but this is one of them. But we do respect each other. With that being said, I will open it to the public with a motion to open the public portion, UMH Oak Tree real estate tax pass-through. 5 seconds. All in favor? Aye. Does anyone wish to come forward? Now knowing that you have the 5%, please come forward.
I just have a question.
Sure.
Wait till you get to the
Please wait
microphone.
till you get to the microphone.
I'm not used to it.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give us the truth?
Yes,
And your name, ma'am?
Jamie Zeg, S-Z-E-G,
S.E.
S-Z-E-G. So this 5% increase is going to go on my rent that was previous to the increase, because we've been paying the increase since November, couple
I
months now.
believe he said he's gonna work that out with you.
So they'll
Okay.
lower it.
Because
Go
we
ahead.
are,
You
we
can
are
answer-
seniors, we are
Did you-
seniors.
Do you mind if he answers your question?
Before the increase.
Okay, that's what I'm asking. Because we are seniors. I've had 2 heart attacks. I have a pacemaker. I work full-time and I'm a sole income. And most of us are relying on either social security or our own income.
Right.
0.9 to 5%. I could deal with the 5%, but next year, like, it's going to be unaffordable for me. And then what do we do then? You know what I mean?
You would like him to answer, Mr. Miller?
You know, I
He's,
just want to say, I'm sure the board's aware that next year there's a new New Jersey law where it can't be raised more than 3.5%.
Well, God only knows. Do I trust the state? No.
well, it's in the book.
Thank you.
It was a law I was heavily involved with getting passed. Anyone else wish to come
Ms.
forward?
Walker. Then the lady with the dark, pretty hair in the back after Miss Walker. Miss Walker, you first. You're still under oath, ma'am.
First, I would like to thank UMH because we are on limited income unless you have.
Can't hear her.
Oh, sorry. Thank you, UMH, for that, and we greatly appreciate it. I would just like to put a couple things out today because I don't know how all of the taxes go. I know the other, when it was the Johanna had her oak tree, it was 5 million, I think. And of course, when they purchased it, it came up to 22 million. And what I did some research, I found that, and I don't know how this all goes because it's divided by the 258 lots, correct? But they have 2 single family homes on the premises, and they have a 3,400 square foot clubhouse, which is, I understand, is gorgeous now. It has been remodeled, I think, 3 times since they purchased it. And that the, they rent it out, and then they rent out the property around it, which is the parking lot. And then they have a maintenance building. So doesn't that go on taxes?
It is taxed, but the residents help pay for that in the division of the tax bill.
So is that like a separate portion of it?
No, that is included in your tax bill.
So we pay for
Yes,
all the
you
whole
pay
thing?
for the taxes for the whole property. Because
Should-
they're considered common areas.
Even the 2 houses that are on the property?
Those 2 houses are counted in, I believe. Are they separated? They're separated.
It was under, in the tax assessor's office, I think it's under UMH New Jersey, Oak Tree. Okay, well,
Ms. Walker, if a lot was not, it was vacant, that would be paid by the landlord. That portion of the, let's say 257 lots were occupied and 1 wasn't, they would pay for that 1 lot that's not occupied.
well, I understand that, but I wasn't sure because the office and the clubhouse are on a big piece of property. And since they can rent out the clubhouse and they can rent the spots on the parking lot, I wasn't sure how that works in with everything because there's a large chunk of property that is not a lot, not a recitable lot. So I wasn't sure how that worked.
It's considered common. And as far as the clubhouse is concerned, it's considered an amenity to the residents. So that's included in the common areas. And the common areas are part of the division of the property taxes. When you're paying a portion of the property taxes you're paying is going for common areas.
Okay, so even though UMH is also making extra money on that, so it doesn't matter because it's all included?
Yes, because that's how the ordinance was written in
Okay.
Jackson. It's considered common area, and because you can use it,
Mhm.
it's part of your tax bill.
Well, I appreciate the 5%, so that's going to be 5% on our base amount, right?
Yes,
That's
ma'am.
5% on our base amount. And will that be 5% next year as well, or depending on what goes on with the township?
Well, like I said, it's whatever your total rent was last year before the increase, it's not gonna go up more than 5% of that.
Okay, but that would be on the base, correct?
Yeah, on the total, whatever your total rent, yeah.
So that's the base
So if your
plus the
total- if you-
previous taxes?
Yeah, whatever your rent is made up of, a base and a CPI and a real estate tax, whatever that total is,
Mhm.
we're not gonna raise the new total to more than 5% of that.
Okay, still not sure I got all that, but okay, thank
So-
you very much.
okay.
Yes. And thank you for waiting patiently. I know you have a lot to say. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give us the truth?
Yes, I do.
And your name, ma'am?
Vitina Gorman. Now, I'm
Gorman?
actually, yes, Gorman, Gorman. I'm actually speaking for my mother, Dolores Oliva, who could not be here. She's in the hospital. She is 93 years old. She is a tenant at Oak Tree. Her Social Security is all she has. So far, her rent has been raised 3 times since they have taken over. She can't keep getting raised and continuing to afford to live there.
I understand, ma'am, but our hands are tied with the ordinance, and if I'm not mistaken, there's litigation on this in Superior Court, correct?
What do you mean litigation?
There's a lawsuit in Superior Court involving,
It's gone. It's all been taken care of. It
and
was
what was
paid in
the,
full.
if I may, what was the resolution? What was the decision?
We paid the increase. We paid the increase. My mother had no choice whatsoever. I'm not gonna have a 93-year-old woman thrown into the street. And now she's not even feeling well. She's, you know, she has arthritis. She's in a lot of pain. And I am asking, why are you allowed to raise a senior park
Ma'am,
such an amount?
The board is sympathetic to this concern.
I don't think the board is being sympathetic
Well,
whatsoever.
Okay.
I believe
Can
that
I
you're being
answer
very
your
rude when
question?
you say
I don't
that.
believe I'm being
No,
rude.
can I
You're
answer?
very sympathetic. Can I tell you how many hours I worked on this issue behind the scenes? People on this board know that. People in this audience who know me know how far I went, how many people I contacted, how many phone calls I made, how many people I begged to help.
Okay, and what did they do? Nothing?
They got you down to 5%.
Oh, they got it down to 5%. Because I did go to Freehold and I spoke to UMH and they came out into the hallway and spoke to me and they said it would be raised 3.5% per year. Now
That's
I'm
next year.
hearing a week later, it's 5%.
That's next year under state law. In 2026, as of March 1st, there will be a 3.5% cap in New Jersey on manufactured home lot rents.
Wow.
What does that mean?
Means they can't raise it higher than 3.5% starting next year.
So what is the 5%?
5% is going to include your CPI and the real estate tax pass-through.
Without
Is
this
that an
5%,
increase?
without this 5% agreement, you'd be paying about 15%.
Okay, I still don't understand how much it's gonna be raised. In other words, we were just raised, my mother was just raised
You're raised
3
once a year.
times.
Yeah, once a year, you're given a rent increase.
Okay, 3.5%. Is that correct?
Well, in past years, it was based on CPI. So whatever CPI is, right now, it's 2.95%.
Okay, so what were they just saying is gonna be lowered? I don't understand. What is
Your
gonna be
real
lowered?
estate tax pass-through, which went from $46 to $106.
I guess I just have to wait to see what they bill my mother. That's all I could do. Is that correct?
No, you know what the bill is going to be. It's going to be no more than 5% of whatever her base rent is from last year.
And they do not maintain the property. I'm gonna tell you that right now. They are supposed to maintain the property. My mother has been there for, I would say, almost 30 years. And she herself has maintained the property around her and behind her, and also paid people to come and clean up. Now, that really has not much to do with them, because there was a different landlord who always refused to do anything. And my mother didn't complain, she did it, and I helped her. Okay, so now I'm saying there are new owners. They have equipment, they have men that work there. Why are they not cleaning up around the mobile homes, especially right behind her? She's got a load of trees behind her, and there's a load of acorns, leaves, and sticks. And believe me, I've gone to code
You live in
enforcement.
nature. You have trees behind you. What do you want them to do?
They were supposed to cut some down. They said they were going to.
Are,
They
are,
did
are,
cut
are the
3
trees
down,
overhang,
but
are the
there's-
trees overhanging your home? home.
Yes, there are 2 on one side and 2 on the other side. I would say about this much away from the mobile home in the back.
Ms. Gorman?
But are they
the-
overhanging the roof?
Yes, the branches are overhanging the roof. Yes, when those
Then,
acorns
then
come
you, then you
down,
need to report that to the manager so you will get on the list.
I've
so
done
when
that.
the tree person comes
I
in,
have
they will
done
cut the
that.
branches.
I have gone to code enforcement. This has been going on for years. I've been complaining.
Well, Ms. Gorman, the board really cannot handle that part. We don't have authority to handle that.
Okay,
But I
can you-
believe-
can you
but
pass
I-
that information on to them?
You can
Because
pass that.
I have done so.
You can pass that information on to the new owners. Mr. Miller, have you heard what she said?
Yes, Mr. Miller, because I did complain several times. I complained to code enforcement, I complained to everyone, and you can come and see the trees, they're this far away from the mobile home.
Can't hear her.
I remember, Chris. Sure. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth?
Yes.
Sure.
Christopher Putz.
Last name, Chris?
It's Putz, P-U-T-Z.
Butts?
Putz, P-U-T-C.
Yeah.
Okay. Bridger,
Yes.
what would you like to say, sir?
Just in response to her,
Forward to the microphone?
just in response to her lot that she rents from us, there were trees that were hanging over her mother's home. We took 3 trees out. We have a professional vendor that comes in and takes care of that, assesses them, and took out the 3 that he deemed were either dead or needed to be removed. There is one tree that is close to her home, but he deemed it to be very much alive and safe. We trimmed the branches, so there's no longer anything hanging over the home. And in response to her saying that her mother is out every day, she does clean up her yard. We appreciate that, and we appreciate everybody taking pride in cleaning up their lawns. But like you said, the behind her home is very much wooded, and there's really nothing that we could do about that. So, but we did take care of the trees, so that's no longer an issue. I just
Thank
wanted
you.
to address that.
We do appreciate that when the parks do that. I know many of the parks in Jackson are very good with taking care of tree overgrowth. Working on that. So, and it's not you, so don't worry about that.
Thank you.
But thank you.
Hi, I'm still under.
Still under.
I just have a question, Mr. Miller. The slab underneath the mobile home, are you responsible for the initial slab?
Speak up.
But it was there when I bought my mobile home. And it is on your property. I'm not talking about the driver, I'm talking about the initial slab. Pardon? I'm just asking him a question.
I don't really know, but I find out.
Please, everybody,
Oh.
address the
I'm
microphones, not
sorry.
the audience.
Okay.
Otherwise, you can't be heard. Anybody else wish to talk? Anybody from Zoom? Hearing none, I ask for a motion to close the public portion of the UMH Oak Tree real estate tax pass-through. Boyce, do I have a second? Bukowski, all in favor? Given what we heard with the voluntary stipulation of a 5% cap on increases, I ask for a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second, voice.
Roll call, please.
Bill Boyce, Edward Chakowski, Frank Sullivan.
Yes. Michael abstains.
Okay. And Joseph Sullivan.
Yes. Ms. Wankel, you can now come and rejoin the board.
On behalf of the board, we thank the public for coming out.
We thank you for working with us to make this all possible and to improve the relationship between the residents and the management and ownership of Oak Tree. Have any board discussions? We now can open it to public comment on any issue and any issue at all. Anyone wishing to come forward, please come towards the microphone.
We need to make sure we remain silent for the operation of the recording.
Do I have a motion to open public comment? Do I second? All in favor?
All right,
Anybody-
first of all, this is Lori Greenberg. I'm representing many mobile home parks here. I want to thank you for all your service for the past year. And I do have a serious question. So as of January 31st, unless you change your rent ordinance, I am now under the state ordinance. And I'm going to be sending in my 3.5% increases to all the residents. I assume, Mr. Sullivan said you were looking into changing the ordinance. I assume that if you're going to do that, I'm going to be notified.
Yes, of course. And also you got to understand, the state law does not go into effect until March 1st.
I understand, but if the my increases are for April 1st. So if I'm putting in my increases, they're going to be put in January. So,
April, yeah.
all right, for April.
Well, they
So-
may end up being amended depending on what the township decides to change in the ordinance, or if they decide to stay with the state.
Okay,
They'll-
because
they-
what I'm asking for is direction. So basically, if you know you're changing it, please give me a heads up. Because
course.
I'm going to need to know, because I get 2 weeks. The last 2 weeks in January, I've got to get those applications out if I'm under your ordinance. I'm going to get them out anyway, but you're right. I guess that's the answer, is I would amend them.
Ms. Greenberg, I could tell you, the town council will probably be hearing an amendment to our ordinance in their last meeting in January. If that is the case, I will forward the changes, or I'll have Ms. Rump forward the changes to you. And also, while I'm in the process of making the changes, if you like, we can forward them to you ahead of time to get your opinion.
I would really appreciate that because I represent all of the parks in Jackson.
And we want to work with the parks, and so we will send you whatever the finalized version of what will go to the council, we will send to you.
I think what Ms. Greenberg is asking for is if she could be part of that.
Right.
Certainly. I will send you, when our side gets done, I'll send it to you for your opinion, and we can maybe make adjustments to better work with the park owners.
That would be really good, and that way we're all on the same page, and I appreciate that. Have a Merry Christmas, and or Happy New Year, and any other holidays you choose
Oh, and
to celebrate.
Happy Hanukkah and everything else,
Thank
which
you.
I believe Hanukkah is starting next week, so. Sunday.
Sunday.
Yes, so happy
Thank
holidays.
you so much, and thank you to everybody who showed up, I appreciate it.
Does anybody else wish to come forward? Okay,
No.
so hearing none, do I have a motion to close public comment portion? All in favor? Aye. Do I have a motion to close the meeting? All in favor? Aye. Thank you, everybody. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and Happy New Year.